Shalom, shalom. This is your brethren, Tobiah Tufari, alongside my Wyndham Benaiah Tufari from the Rastafari Network. And today we're going to be presenting to you an update on the Yehuda Project. We had a very successful sabbatical call last night. So shout out to everybody who was on that call. We did, expound on the Yehuda Project a little bit in that call. But what I'm going to do for you right now is literally go to each section and give you a full dialogue and a full explanation of what each section um, will comprise of. If ones and ones do not know by now what the Yehuda Project is, it is the creation of a self-sustaining, self-reliant city near the port of Assab in Eritrea, in a land that is uninhabited. All right, it's mostly arid desert land. The land that we selected, the 10,000 plus acres, hectares of land, is uninhabited. Nobody lives over here. So if we were to present this to ones and ones, or if the Eritrean government, I wouldn't see them having a problem with I exodusing out of America to this part of the land, as there are so many places we could go in Africa. But for I as Rastafari, as far as the community, ones and ones do agree with what I want to present here with the Yehuda Project. The very first thing I want to address with the Yehuda Project is the port of Assab. All right. Our very first goal as the diaspora is to first touch down on the ground in Assab and Alila in Assab, right? And what we want to do is help beautify the port of Assab along with the surrounding areas of Assab and provide advanced, modernized technology that can help the community, the water issue, the farming issues, and just in all give back to the ancients, right? Give back to those who have kept this land for the generations. There's not many people out here. Let me zoom out real quick so that you have a perspective. Many people really don't understand many people don't understand geography in a sense. So let me just zoom out to give you a clear perspective of the said land that we're dealing with. All right, this is in Eritrea, also known as the coast of Ethiopia. That's what it was before Eritrea was given independence. All right, there's a lot tied into this. I know many ones and ones have concerns of war, Islam, and other, and as well as Gentile influence in these areas. However, I want to encourage all the to not be afraid, because if we can live here in spiritual Egypt, it is hard for ones and ones, and even I myself, to believe that it would be a worse situation being here. I want to make it dire to I people that staying in Egypt, staying in spiritual Egypt and spiritual Sodom is a bigger issue than for us to live in the so-called uninhabited, the so-called place that cannot be habited by humans. They say that, it is not feasible for humans to live here. It's too dry, it's too hot. All those are lies. If you were to look into the land, you'll find dried up rivers that used to have flowing water, and we have a lot of solutions going forward in this. So I just want to make it clear to all the them that the very first project is to gain the trust of I brethren and sistren who already live here, the ancients that live here, the Afar people, which I myself, Tobiah Tafari, claim ancestry from the Afar people of Ethiopia and Eritrea. Alongside, I may find other connections of other people of this land, like the Tigrinya, the Amhara, you know, the Oromo, and other ones. But I have a very distinct connection with the Afar people, and of this region, most of them are Muslim. So I don't want ones to get scared. All I want ones to understand is that there's a universal understanding of salam when it comes to Arabic, Amharic, Hebraic, Aramaic, Shemitic language. There's a overstanding of shalom, salam, peace. So the very first thing would be to build up Asab and to help them modernize and to turn around Asab into a flourishing community, a historic and flourishing community, and to help the port. All right, help the port be more functional for I people. Now, once we start building great relations with these people, our next goal would be to now set up the Yehuda Project, which is this land here that you see carved out and sectioned up. All right, there's many things we're gonna address in this hangout regarding the Yehuda Project. So let me uncheck all the things that, you know, I'm gonna check all the highlighted areas, and we'll go through them one by one. All right, go through them one by one. All right, so now that you see the land, let's just give you a quick flyover of the land without the sections. All right, so this is the old airport. This is the only airport out here, Asab Airport, one strip, a very small terminal, not adequate at all for times we are living in. All right, and as you can see, the coast, there's not much development. There's a few farmlands that haven't had any progress at all. Very small works. They created a man-made. They tried to create a man-made canal here to kind of help out the agricultural plots. But as you see, not much was done. The advancement of technology and advancement of agriculture haven't been brought forward yet, and there have been many advancements in another part of Eritrea, known as Mawasa, which is over here. All right, this is more of the more modernized parts of right over here, the more modernized parts of Eritrea. They have started a lot of different progress in using salt water for agricultural use, and I'm gonna go into that specifically. So let me take it back to the land over here. All right, the land that we would love to call Yehuda. All right, so right over here by the port of Asab, this portion of land right here, this little peninsula, we want to propose to make this I home. You know, so I know all of the IDEM in the Rastafari community in the Lion of Judah Society, you know, here in the West and in the Caribbean and abroad, are seeking a home. You know, the world is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, but you know, it's time that we don't do. This is not for self or just for I people. This is something. What I'm gonna show you here is something that the entire Horn of Africa and all of Africa is gonna greatly benefit from. All right, so the very first thing that we're gonna deal with, since we already touched on Asab, all right, we already touched on the Asab project, which is the Beautify project to beautify Asab. All right, that's highlighted there. That's well understood that whatever we can do to help Asab, we're gonna try to help them. And what we do on our own in our city over here, we would definitely love to have reasonings with the officials of Asab so that they can also utilize the technologies and the education that we have going forward to help alleviate some issues that the Horn of Africa is dealing with that are temporary, and it is only due to lack of information. All right. Firstly, we're gonna talk about the airport. All right. As you can see here, this airport is a very small airport. It's one strip. It's a pretty long strip though, but it is not up to international standards. So what we want to do is create an airport. All right. We want to create an airport that can rival that of Denver International, to rival that of at the airport in Chicago, or the airport in Atlanta, or LaGuardia, or LAX, right? Or even Dubai International Airport. What we want to do is create an international airport. So let me go ahead and highlight that for you here. Yehuda International Airport. Now, as you see, we took up the space here of the original airport, which we would modify and help beautify and, you know, remodel and give a facelift. But all of this here that you see, this entire landscape, and I know you see rifts in the land. If I was to bring this down, you can still see that the land is quite level. All right, it's not 100% level, but there is no mountains or high terraneous levels of land. So what we would do is landfill what we have here with rock sediment, because most of the soil here, as I did my research, is mostly desert sand and soil with bedrock below. So you know it doesn't take you that long to dig deep and find bedrock, and that's why there's hardly any green over here. That's why it's mostly desert, because as you dig down, you find bedrock, you find rocks, which doesn't allow water to be stored, right? It doesn't hold good moisture. So how do we alleviate that problem? Well, first of all, what we would do is excavate this area and excavate the bedrock, all right? And with that bedrock, turn it into tarmac and runways, all right? Over here in this area, close to where the port of Assab, where the Assab airport is, we would then now create a terminal. All right, we'll create a commercial terminal that will take up this entire space from here to here, which would also be classified possibly as the largest terminal created as of its creation, if it, you know, when it does get created. The total space of this airport, and you can do compare and contrast with other airports by just do a simple Wikipedia research. The total area that is covered in this is 6,000 hectares, which is close to 15,000 acres of land, which is a enormous amount of land for an international airport, which will allow this airport to be the busiest in all of East Africa and the most efficient of all of Africa. Now, I'm going to tie in a few things here in the international airport that is going to revolutionize and be the very first of its kind. In the northwest corner of the airport area, we're going to have an airplane plant where we will make a proposal to Boeing to help create a Boeing manufacturing airplane plant. All right. The space of this is 190 acres, of which will be a full facility, a full warehouse facility rivaling and actually double the size of Boeing Everett. And for all of I and I who are not familiar, I'll just go ahead and show you real quick, so that way you have an idea and you see the vision as I and I see the vision. Spare me 1 second here. Computer's a little slow. So yes, as I show you the Boeing Everett manufacturing plant, which is the largest production of Boeing planes in the world, in Seattle, Washington, in the northwest corner of America. You can see this is a pretty big facility. It is the largest by volume warehouse in the world or building in the world. So you can see airplanes are made in here. All right. So and as they're made, there's an airport right next to the facility where they can be tested and flown out to other airports and other places for branding for that country and etc. All right. So let me bring you back here. Half of this would be the size of Everett. So this would be twice the size of Everett. Um, allowing not only Boeing but allowing us, but also allowing Boeing to be able to quadruple their manufacturing capabilities of their branded plane of Boeing. All right, and also allowing indigenous people of the land to also get job opportunities in aviation. So that way we can be well versed in the science of aviation, something that His Majesty spoke about and agree with, especially knowing that Ethiopian Airlines have a very good relationship with Boeing. All right, so that's the airplane plant. And with this airplane plant now, there's a lot of different technologies that will be undergoing in this. So I'm going to tie it in with other surrounding sections of the Yehuda Project, and it'll come full circle so that way you could understand it. All right. Secondly, in the north corner of the airport, we're going to have a car plant. All right. Not knowing what manufacturer specifically we would be able to work with. Personally, I would definitely want to seek out Japan and Nissan, Nismo technology, and allow them to have a plant here so that way Nissan can be branded in Africa and not only help Japan's economy. This is something Japan would definitely, if they were to see it, they wouldn't feel like, they're losing. They would actually be winning if they were to do something like this, because they'll be able to up their sales in Africa. And also with the growth of Africa, we'll be able to get more sales and more done. This car plant also is about 252 acres of land. Will be probably the biggest car plant, the car manufacturer in Africa or in the world, rivaling the biggest in the world. All right, so the way you understand this, all right, this the airport. All of this will be runways for cargo as well as international commercial flights. All right, that is the kind of, in a sense, like the first step, building up the airport, mapping it out. All right. Secondly, we're gonna go over here now, and we're gonna talk about the new port. All right. We already have the intention of beautifying Assab and also allowing and helping the ports to get better recognition and better fluency as far as freight cargo is concerned. All right. Over here though in Newport, which will be on the other coast, this side, let me go ahead and highlight it for you that way you can see it. All right. We want to create a new port here. All right, for both cargo freight cargo, as well as commercial cruise line and a ship manufacturing factory for both cruise ships and tankers. All right, that's going to be essential for I&I people when produce and cars and a lot of different things are being made and manufactured within the region. All right. Secondly, is this long blue line here. Let me go ahead and unhighlight this so that way you can see. Starting from this right here, going inland, what we want to do, as you can see, it's a canal. All right. What we want to do is create a canal, a saltwater canal going inland up to right here, where you see this land that looks like it used to be for the water used to probably flow here. That's what it looks like, right? So the canal will lead up to right here. This entire area will be filled with water, with walls on either side raising above the sea level, all right? The walls of the canal will be raised above the sea level, all right? That way the water will be able to flow in, all right? And using the same technology of Lagos, the Lagos Wall in Nigeria, using that same wall technology, building up wall structures on on both sides, and then at the very end of the canal, creating a world class dam for not only hydropower, but also for a world class dam that also provides a distillation plant. All right, now I'm going to explain what all of this is going to do for this land. Once the dam is set here and you have the walls built, probably even as much as 20 to 50 feet tall, right? We'll be able to then pile the water up here and make kind of like a saltwater reservoir. All right. By using this saltwater reservoir here and holding a lot of gallons of water, we're gonna have miniature canals streaming from both sides of the main canal. All right, stretching inland. All of this here occupied. All of this on either side. Small stream canals for salt water. All right, salt water. So that way we can create the largest halophytes farming project and mangroves farming project. With that, all right, and let me go back to my screen here because ones and ones probably don't over is what I mean by that. Let me just go to my history real quick. So I'm gonna pull one specific thing up on dealing with halophytes and dealing with the connection with Boeing and biofuels. All right, not crude oil, but using halophyte plants and the stalks of the mangroves to create jet fuel, as well as gasoline. All right. Now, I mean the biofuel for cars as well. So let me go ahead and just show you here real quick. 1 second. It's probably as you can see, I've been doing a lot of different research here. Biofuel. Here we go. All right. So what has happened literally in the last 2 years? Boeing has been doing research on biofuel, and they also understand, and they've been using Abu Dhabi and Dubai as their research places, because they understand that halophytes, right, which is a plant that can be grown completely with salt water, highly saline water, as you can see here. This is being grown. It's a desert plant, and it's being grown and being fed with salt water. All right, these halophytes can create biofuel. All right, and also through the halophytes, as you can see here, we'll be able to create aquaculture for fish and shrimp. The water then is funneled here to feed the halophytes, and then once it's drained from the halophytes, it's then drained into the mangrove wetlands, which also will be created. All right, biomass from the mangroves can be converted into bioenergy. All right, as well as the halophytes. All right, can also be used to produce bioenergy, including biofuels. All right, so that's absolutely amazing, and they've already, all right, if you were to watch anything about Etihad Airways as well as Boeing aircraft here, as of last year, they've had successful 5,000 plus miles flights in a Boeing 747 cargo. All right, and flown completely with better efficiency and less carbon emissions, with completely 100% biofuel. and also a mixture of biofuel made from the plants. All right, and this is a renewable energy because it will never run out. The crops will grow, we'll use it, and then what? We replant the crops and it grow again, and we always have this renewable source of energy continuously growing for I and I. All right, so let me bring it back here. So knowing that, we will be able to create the largest halophytes farming and mangroves farming facility along the sides of the saltwater canal. All right. Now, another thing from that is where the dam is. All right. Where this dam is, we're gonna have the very first dam that also turns the salt water into fresh water by using distillation plants. All right. Now the output of that water leaving the dam will then be entered into these streams of fresh water going down the stream, and I, excavating rock and rubble and actually formulating the stream so that way they can flow seamlessly. All right, and they will flow, and as you can see, water used to flow here. All right, there's also there's actually small puddles of water that still show up, but all of this will be filled up, and water will now be able to flow once again through this, but fresh water. All right, and we'll let nature take its course on that. All we would do is, as the water flows downstream, we protect the lands by building up along the edges of the rivers, along the banks of the rivers, by that way if water was to overflow, it wouldn't flood out the surrounding areas. All right, and all of that can be limited by the dam's flow of water. All right, so what this will do is, with fresh water now flowing back through here, you'll start to see a transformation. You'll start seeing green start popping back up along the banks of the rivers, the freshwater rivers. But not only just having fresh water flow back here, but having this saltwater reservoir and dam, and having small canals streaming from this salt water to create biofuels for what? The airport that's right over here. All right, we'll be able to be the largest distributor of clean biofuels, as well as Boeing planes that are specifically made for that. All right, so let me go ahead and highlight the port one more time. This is all the area of the port. So as you can see, all this blue area, all of this around here, everything you see in this blue area, all right, probably not as far up as here, but south of this highway here, south of the river. Well, not really south, but because I'm facing all right, so yeah, south, actually north of the river. All right, north of the river, we'll be having canals streaming salt water for mangroves and for halophyte farming, also aquaculture, which will be able to, it'll be the biggest in the world given the space. Now, not only that, we also have, let me scroll down here, a train plant and station, which will be on the far end over here, just across from, just right around the corner from the car plant and the airplane manufacturing plant. So the train plant now, we'll be able to reason with China and Japan and get some information on their high-speed trains, as well as work on freight trains as well as commercial trains. Not only just a manufacturer, but a station and terminal, in which will lead from Yehuda and go straight towards Addis Ababa. All right, from Yehuda all the way to Addis Ababa, and from Addis Ababa, it'll be able to go anywhere from there. All right, so that's just that one addition. Okay, so we covered the airport, we covered the port. as far as the marine port. All right. Also, I mean, there's so many different facilities that will be here as well, because I did explain the shipbuilding yard, ship manufacturing, from cargo ships to cruise liners. All right. We got to change the lifestyle of the people. A lot of people is in struggle in this region of the land, and we wonder why they're in war. All right. If we can end poverty, destitution, and drama, I mean, we'll be able to bring about peace. Because ones are worrying about the things that I should not be worrying about. All right, so let's move on now. What we're gonna speak about now is the universities, the research area, hospital, tourism, theme parks. All right, and that is right. Hold on 1 second. That is right here in this pink area. All right. Now, this area is designated specifically for universities, research facilities, from marine biology to a wide range of education, farming education, agricultural education, spiritual education, theology, just a lot of different schools, also hospitals, and along with the hospitals, I mean, you're also going to have the integration of the medical school also right there. So that way it's not far. You don't have to drive from the medical school to have to get to the hospital. It's actually kind of going to be in the same facility in a sense, right? It's going to be right there by one another in a sense. And also more close to this area over here, this area will be more designated for tourism and theme parks, especially right here. Theme park tourism and beach lifestyle. You know, a lot of different things to help provide the leisure aspect of living for, you know, all of I people. Just give me 1 second here. I got a couple messages here. Just give me 1 second. All right. So now you understand that area. All right. Now we're gonna go into this blue area here. It's already highlighted. All right. And what this blue area is going to be designated for is distillation plants. Now I already made it clear that we're going to have a world-class distillation dam, you know. But in this area, we're going to have specifically distillation plants. All right. Now with these distillation plants, we're looking to create 10 distillation plants in the area given. All right, and then the area given here is about 2,300 plus acres, or about 1,000 hectares. All right, well, we'll be able to fit at least 10 distillation plants, which will be able to provide on average daily 1 billion gallons of water, 500 million for a reservoir, and 500 million for immediate use for the people every single day. And with the distillation dam, that will increase that billion gallon daily figure to and add another 30% to that, right? Being the largest provider of fresh water in the world, which is going to be the most crucial part of healing the Horn of Africa. Water, one of the most important things of humanity. So definitely understanding that 10 distillation plants along the coastline will be able to transform not just situation for I, but for the situation of all the people of this land. North, east, south, and west. All right. So now I'm going to go into some of the tangible areas, some of the areas that is evident for I to have. For instance, here, we have the downtown business district and high rise, which will be right here. All right. In a sense, it's connected to the terminal. the international airport terminal, and also it's going to have high rises and other things. So that right there is 1,200 acres of land, pretty feasible space of land for a downtown area district, business district as well, and high rises and whatnot. Over here, we have advanced farming. And what we're going to have in advanced farming is not just your typical, it's not going to be just your typical agricultural techniques. I'm talking about vertical farming, from solar farming to greenhouse farming, to a number of organic, technologically advanced farming techniques that will, we have a large, vast amount of land, 2,100 acres, give or take, of land to create food. All right, this is the advanced farming area specifically for food production. All right. Now we have the Earthship communities. All right, these Earthship communities is going to be along this strip of land right here, about 860 acres of land. All right, and it's going to be a linear, one long street. All right, with Earthships on both sides. All right, and there is a specific model that we want to model after for the Earthship communities that we're going to be building. With these Earthships, from 3 bedrooms to 2 bedrooms to 1 bedroom to 4 to 5 to 2 stories to a lot of different ways we can make it. However, the simple basic layout and template is already evident, which is this very template here that I'm about to show you. All right, this template right here. All right, as you can see, yeah, this template right here, which is 100% self-sustaining. I'm talking about solar panels, organic farming for self. All right, water management. All right, sewage management. All right, a lot of things. There's a lot of things. We're gonna definitely go into greater detail. You could definitely check out earthship.com or YouTube Earthship. Google it. Check it out. There's many different. As you can see, this is the platform here. See, no more water bills. There's a lot of things we're gonna be able to move forward with this particular layout. All right, so this whole area here is going to be the Earthship communities. All right, 860 acres devoted to that. All right, now just above that, we're gonna include what is known as the uptown or city. All right, we have the downtown district with high rises and business districts, and then the red area here we're gonna have more rural town, more city-like, kind of the same vibe as downtown, but not so business-like, And right across the airport, kind of in a sense, is still there by the airport, just as many communities are around the world, right there by the airport. So keeping it modern, keeping it familiar in a sense, but very different. All right, very, very different. All right, so we have one more section here. All right, we have one more section. Matter of fact, I did create the city hall area, which I would want to put right over here, a little city hall area for governmental situations. All right, 384 acres of land devoted to that. But this area right here, all right, this is what's gonna bring everything together. This is the centerpiece. We already covered, the schooling and clinics, dissertation, aviation, cars, trains, marine port, canal for water. We done covered it all, but what we're gonna definitely, and also right here, we have different residential areas. From one, there's gonna be people living in the downtown area residentially. There will be people who live in high rises and live downtown. Also, there will be people who live uptown. And then there also will be people living on the farms, right? And there also will be people living in the earthships. However, most of the people of Yehuda will be living right here. All right, and this is also going to be known as the Venus Project, rightly named the Venus Project. Now this radius of area, all right, covers 3,000 acres of land. All right, this covers 3,000 acres of land, which is pretty much the same amount of land as Eco Atlantic in Lagos Beach, Nigeria. They're reclaiming about 5 million square meters of land off the coast of Lagos and off the coast of Victoria Island, which is equivalent to about 3,000 acres as well. So give or take, you'll be able to understand that this area alone will be able to provide about 750,000 residential situations, or for a population of about almost 1 million people. Now, you might not know what the Venus Project is, but I wanna let you know that even with the surrounding areas, we still have space for even more farming and more things. But given a strategic position, being that the canal will be starting right here and the lake is going to be flowing right here, what the Venus Project is, all right, is going to actually be creating the circular city that the Venus Project has been talking about. We have some perks we have to work out, the kinks we have to work out dealing with the Venus Project and the technology that they brought forth. Shout out to Jacques Fresco and the Venus Project and all who support the Venus Project. We do seek your help as well. What we want to do is plot the very first circular city, the very first Venus Project inspired circular city system. All right, and I'm just going to show you real quick what it looks like. That way you understand and you see the vision. Now, within the city project, right, there's going to be a wealth of different things that will be able to happen. So let me just show you real quick, give you a quick flyover. All right, so this is the circular city project. All right, in the center here we have the economical district, businesses, commercial, and schooling, a lot of different things for the community. All right, and then on this outskirt area here, all of this is residential communities. All right, and then right here now is going to be more like condominiums on this outer ring. And then the very last outer ring is for leisure, recreational, golf courses, parks, you name it. All right, so what we're going to do is plot that right there. All right, plot that right there. So there's a lot to talk about in detail when it comes to every section. Hopefully I covered everything, and if any of the brethren and my sister have any suggestions, please leave it in the comments. If there's something or a key part of the city that I'm forgetting that would be crucial to have, please let me know so that way I can add on. All right. But hopefully ones and ones get the vision. There's so much land that we can use, especially with this outer green space of the Venus Project. We'll be able to use for even more recreational use. We might as well just turn this pink if we wanted to. All right, but you see the vision. This is the Yehuda Project. Asab is right here. We definitely want to build up Asab, but this is where I and I want to exodus to. If I and I agree, say I. Oh, so later on at 11, we will be starting the hangout. All right, so that's tuned for the Rastafari Network Hangout at rastafarinetwork.com, and definitely tune in at rastafarinetwork.com/hangout. So bye to Tafari and your Wyndham. Benaya Tafari. Shalom. Oh, it's a little dark there. Shalom Rastafari.